Welcome to Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. We have officially reached October.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
yeah.
Woohoo! Our favorite month by far. Jam-packed with everything we love. Lots of haunts to attend, lots of movies to watch. We recently just went and watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre in theaters to celebrate its 50th anniversary of release. And it was great.
That was a lot of fun, man.
It was a ton of fun. There was a good amount of people there.
I'd say it was over half full for sure.
Half full, I agree. And it seemed like a lot of people, it was their first time seeing it.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Which was great.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was great. It was my first time ever seeing it on the big screen.
Mine too.
I loved it. Yeah. So good. But what better way to celebrate the greatest month of the year than by reviewing movies that happen on or around the big day, Halloween? But before we do that, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news?
This is horror news.
Blairski, you want to kick this off?
Yeah, I do. First and foremost, just a quick shout out to two of our longtime listeners, supporters, and friends, Aziz and Larissa, who tied the knot this past week. Congratulations, you guys. Congratulations, and we hope it was an amazing day for you guys.
So exciting. Congratulations, you two. Woo!
The first actual piece of horror news I have is after a bunch of setbacks and, of course, controversy, we finally have a release date for Scream 7, Jesse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we do. It is coming to theaters, get this, February 27th, 2026.
Okay, yeah.
So a long ways still to go, but...
Anytime before 2026, and I would have laughed it off as... not going to happen.
Yeah, like they're trying to rush it out or something like that.
That makes sense. It gives them lots of time to get some contracts signed.
Yeah, well, we already got Sidney Prescott coming back, so a little bit of a wait, but we get to see Sidney Prescott back on the screen again.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that one.
The last piece of horror news I have this week, VHS Beyond. I feel like it was not even that long ago where I first heard about it due to you when you announced it to me and friends.
2 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, if that. And it's out. It is out. It is out. It is on Shudder. I have not seen it yet. I plan to watch it at some point this week, and I cannot freaking wait. It's getting some good reviews. People seem to like it.
The trailer looks really, really good, and it seems like they're kind of focusing in more on the sci-fi aspects of horror, which is really cool.
Aliens in space and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've got a couple of pieces of horror news here. First off, we just wrapped up Stephen King month, and we have Stephen King news. Bloody Disgusting reported earlier last week that there will be a new adaptation of Stephen King's The Running Man coming out.
Okay.
And Edgar Wright will be directing. Very excited about that.
Yeah.
This one's slated to be released in theaters November 21st, 2025. So I guess, oh no, we're in 2024.
Yeah, we're
about a year away.
Yeah.
The Running Man will star Glenn Powell, who was most recently in the new Twister movie.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. An adaptation, of course, was released back in 1987, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I haven't
apparently
seen it.
No, me neither, but apparently Edgar Wright's version will be closer to the source material.
Okay. Which is what I'd expect for sure.
Absolutely. One of our favorites, Matthew Lillard, has confirmed that he will be returning for Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
I thought he signed a contract for a trilogy.
And I wouldn't be surprised because the first film in this franchise went on to become Blumhouse's highest grossing movie of all time. Why wouldn't you want to be in there?
It's all that nostalgic hype from the video game.
100%.
The movie itself it's okay. It's nothing spectacular, but people just love that video game franchise.
It's a lengthy one, is it not?
It is. It is a little lengthy.
It is, yeah. The sequel will be released December 5th, 2025. So
All right.
about a year away again. And then finally, I showed you some of these, but Reebok and Universal Monsters are teaming up to release a brand new Boktober sneaker collection. The collection will include shoes inspired by the Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman, Dracula, and some really cool Reebok pumps inspired by Frankenstein.
Those are the ones I want, man. They look so awesome.
Those are just the coolest shoes. The classic Reebok pumps. I was telling Blair, I had a pair of brown Reebok pumps back in the day. They're a great shoe.
Yeah. Yeah. And these Frankenstein ones look awesome, man.
Absolutely. The shoes will be available starting October 11th, only a couple days away.
All right.
That's all I have for horror news. What do you say we jump into this week's episode? The first episode of October
Whoa!
goes to 2018's Hellfest. Runtime on this one, 1 hour, 29 minutes. Blairski, initial thoughts on the runtime?
It's perfect. It's right in the wheelhouse for numbers. Feels a little long. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's 1 hour and 29 minutes. Like you said, it maybe feels a little bit long. It maybe feels a little bit repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it. But before we chat about that, let's talk about some fun facts.
Fun facts. Facts that are fun.
Blairski, you got some fun facts on this one?
Only 2 for this movie, so I didn't really come up with much. The first fun fact: this movie was actually filmed at a Six Flags in Atlanta, Georgia, which is pretty cool. The last fun fact I have is simply numbers. Even though this film is kind of critically a flop, it was profitable. At a $5.5 million budget, it made over $18 million in theaters, tripling its money, which is pretty awesome.
I would say success. I had never even heard of this movie before we watched it. So I would say that's pretty damn good.
And you know, it's funny, when I picked this movie during our selection show, I had said I had seen it once and didn't remember. I've never seen this movie before.
Never. No. You lied. You lied to the fans. You lied to me. You lied to the fans. You lied to the spirit of Halloween.
It came on and both me and the wife were like, yeah, we have not seen
We've never. I've got a couple fun facts here. Tony Gardner, legendary mask maker who designed the ghost face mask for Scream and the baby face mask for Happy Death Day, created the mask for The Other.
Right on.
It's a very cool mask.
I love the mask in this movie. I really do.
Me too. Me too. It's a very cool mask. Originally conceived to be a yearly horror series released, with the new sequel to be released every Halloween. Clearly that didn't happen.
Did not happen, no.
Which is kind of a shame. We'll get into it, but it ends with a setup for the second one.
It does. It definitely has the potential to be a series, but
who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll get another one.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have for. Nope, I lied. I got one more here. Most of the characters walking around were scare actors from Netherworld Haunted House in Georgia, which is rated in the top 10 haunted attractions in the United States of America. Blairski, we have to add it to the list.
Yeah, we do. I've heard about that place before.
That would be like a dream vacation. Go to all of these top 10 haunted attractions.
Man, would that be so much fun? It'd cost a lot of money. It'd be well worth every penny.
Oh, it'd be well worth it. Well worth it. Okay, let's talk about the fine folks who worked on this one. Directed by Gregory Plotkin, also directed 2015's Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension, and 2020's Crimson. Also worked on 2017's Get Out, A Quiet Place Day 1, The Nun 2, and several installments of the Paranormal Activity franchise as the editor of the movie.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That seems to be kind of his wheelhouse, is editor.
Paranormal Activity.
And Paranormal Activity. He's clearly directed a few movies, but not nearly as many as he's edited. Pretty cool. This one written by Seth M. Sherwood, also wrote the screenplay for 2017's Leatherface
Okay.
and the 2022 screenplay for the video game The Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me.
Okay. Never heard of it.
These are really cool video games. There is 3 of them released, 4 of them released, and they're very much like Until Dawn, a game
Okay.
that I very much loved, that has somebody who's currently working on the movie, and that is Blair Butler. Also
Oh.
wrote this movie. He wrote 2022's The Invitation, 2019's Polaroid, and is writing the upcoming movie adaptation of the video game Until Dawn.
Cool.
Very cool. And then finally, Akilah Cooper also wrote 2021's Malignant, 2022's Megan, 2023's The Nun 2, and the upcoming Megan 2.0. So, you know, these writers haven't really worked on anything big in the horror genre. Oh, wait. Those are some pretty massive movies.
Huge movies, especially Megan for recent movies. Anyway.
Absolutely. Megan, Leatherface was a big remake. You know, there's some Malignant. There's some big movies there.
Yeah, man.
This one's starring, this is a big cast, and you know what? I'm going to mention most everyone.
Okay.
Cynthia Mercado as Jody, also starred in 2019's Swiped. Stephen Conroy as the other, mostly works as a stuntman, as we see with most antagonists in horror movies. Worked on productions like The Walking Dead, Stranger Things, Black Panther, Shazam, the Hunger Games franchise, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, just to name a few. We have Amy Forsyth as Natalie, also starred in 8 episodes of The Gilded Age, Coda, 2018's Beautiful Boy, and A Christmas Horror Story. We watched that one.
Yeah, we did.
Rain Edwards as Brooke, also starred in 18 episodes of The Wilds, 20 episodes of Snowfall, 13 episodes of MacGyver, and 267 episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful. That's a lot of episodes.
Sure is.
Bex Taylor Klaus as Taylor, also starred in 23 episodes of Scream the TV series, 73 episodes of Voltron Legendary Defender, and 7 episodes of 13 Reasons Why. Christian James as Quinn, also starred in 5 episodes of Outer Range and 11 episodes of All American. Matt Mercurio as Asher, also starred in such television series such as Nashville, Powers, Ballers, Mr. Robot, and Magnum PI. Some big shows there.
Yeah.
Robbie Attal as Gavin, also starred in The Haunting of Bly Manor and Partner Track. And then, the best for last, in a very, very brief cameo,
Yeah.
Tony Todd as the Barker, the legend, also starred in 1992's Candyman, 1996's The Rock, 1994's The Crow, and as the voice of Venom in the newest Spider-Man video game, Spider-Man 2.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Very cool voiceover work in that one. Game was fantastic, and Venom, so cool. Synopsis, courtesy of our dear friends at I Am a DB. A masked serial killer turns a horror-themed amusement park into his own personal playground, terrorizing a group of friends while the rest of the patrons believe that it is all part of the show. Yep.
I'll talk about it in a bit, but kind of.
Yeah. This leads us to one of our favorite segments, Kill Count.
Kill count. The time of the show we count the kills.
Blairski, do we have a kill count for this one?
Considering this is a slasher movie that takes place in a very packed theme park,
Yeah.
we surprisingly only have a kill count of 6.
I mean, we'll get into it because you mentioned packed, and anytime they are in one of the haunted attractions, it doesn't seem very packed. I think that's the perfect segue to our next segment.
It is.
Which is likes and dislikes.
Likes, dislikes, likes, dislikes,
and everything in between. The portion of the show where we talk about what we liked what we didn't like, and everything in between. Blairski, I'm going to kick it off by saying you and I would say we're seasoned haunted attraction goers at this point.
We go every year for sure.
We go every year. We've been going every year for 5 years.
Yeah.
There is no way you are not surrounded by people at all times.
Right. I have that written down. There's certain scenes in this movie where it is a packed theme park, like a theme park should be for Halloween. And then there's certain scenes where everyone's gone. Everybody is gone. It is dead silence, except for, the main characters, the main cast. Everyone else around them just disappears all of a sudden. And it happens all the time in this movie.
Anytime they go into the haunts, which are the main focus of the movies, and they keep hammering home how scary they are and how they build up in intensity, which is a great idea for any haunted attraction out there.
Mhm.
Do a couple haunts and you need to get through one of them to go on to the next one. You got to build up your courage to go through them all.
Each one's scarier and scarier.
They none of these haunts look terrifying.
No.
It kind of stunk because it felt like the production design on it maybe felt a little bit like an afterthought.
Well, the actual set, like the lighting was cool. The set itself, I thought was really cool. It made me want to go to a haunt.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any scare actors anywhere like that you would see at a haunt, or if there was, it was very few and far in between. Not that many props, to be honest with you. Some cool lighting, some narrow hallways and stuff, but not that much going on.
And like we had already mentioned, it seems like whenever they go into the haunted attractions, it's just them, which is not the case. There's so many people at these places that they're just funneling them through.
And even if they do kind of give a 2 or 3 minute break between groups when they put them through a haunt in real life,
you always catch up.
You end up catching up to the group in front of you all the time. Not the case in this movie at all.
Yeah, either you're catching up with somebody or people are catching up with you. It's congested. It's traffic jam all the time.
Yeah, and they don't show that in this movie.
I did have really high hopes for this one, and I tried to set the bar, a little bit lower, just, don't get them up too high, but I just love haunted attractions so much.
Me too, man. Me too. Good ones are like Hell House LLC, or Houses October Built is another.
Even
really
the Haunt
one.
is really good. I really like Haunt.
Good. Yeah.
It's one of our favorite things to do, and this one just kind of fell a little flat.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Like we had mentioned, it is a shorter film on paper, but it felt a little bit repetitive.
Yeah, it's majority of the kills were all the same. And it was just one killer stalking a group of friends. And it seemed every new haunt they went into, one of the friends died. And it was just kind of repetitive.
Somebody goes, there is definitely there was a formula to the movie that was like really evident to everyone except for the people in the movie, where it's just like, okay, at what point do you actually let's go and look for our friends?
Yeah, together.
At what point, let's just go, let's pause. We can come back to the haunts, but let's go and have our friends.
Yeah. Let's make sure they're okay. They're missing for half an hour at this point.
Yeah. I did like that all of the weapons the killer used were weapons that were picked up along the way.
Yeah, I like that too.
Different weapons throughout the haunts. And there were some pretty cool, although not a whole lot of them, but I mean, there was some okay kills in this one. There was definitely an eyeball kill that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
It's a nice close up.
The few kills we do get were good. The practical effects used in this movie were good.
Yep.
As we talked earlier a little bit about the killer's mask. So the killer himself, it was very basic. Just a dude wearing a mask.
And a hoodie. Yeah.
And a hoodie. Yeah, just very basic, but the mask was super cool.
The mask was really cool. I thought the killer himself it just seemed a little bit one-dimensional. The killer wasn't overly intimidating.
No.
He wasn't like this hulking presence. He was silent the whole movie except for his humming of "Pop Goes the Weasel."
Yeah, which I
Um,
loved. I love that.
I mean, I love that too. I think, a killer's got to have some kind of calling card or catchphrase, and that's very much his in this movie.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it to be overly intimidating.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was not big at all. I did like how he didn't seem to care, though, who was around. He was
Yeah.
killing people right in the open in front of whoever was there, right? So
Yeah.
I did like that aspect of it.
I think a lot of things that bothered me, and maybe it was with the script, was that there wasn't a whole lot of explanation of why this person is going after these people.
There isn't any reason. What I got out of it is just a guy just out for a night of thrills and kills, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe as simple as that. And maybe I'm trying to look too much into it. And sometimes it is just thrills and kills,
Mhm.
I think another thing that disappointed me is I was, building it up like there was going to be some kind of giant reveal for the killer.
Yeah.
And that just didn't happen.
I did no, it didn't, but I did like the ending, how it doesn't show us who the killer is. There is no giant reveal, except for the fact it does kind of show that he is just a regular average dad. He's a
Family man.
family man, and that's what I chalk it up to. He's a family man who just went out Halloween night for a night of kills and thrills for
Yeah.
his own, sick mind or whatever he's into, and then back home to the family, right?
And we never do see the killer's face. And again,
No.
I think this was just like maybe a big lead up to the potential of maybe seeing a sequel or maybe even a prequel.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I don't know if there's any, anything in production or anything been greenlit or anything like that. 2018, that's a long time to not have a whole lot of news be out about it.
6 coming up to 7 years, right? So
Yeah, that's a lot. You know what? I thought the acting in this movie was good.
I think it was pretty good. Yeah. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't like a shitty acted movie or anything.
No, and I certainly couldn't pick out a weak performance out of the group. I thought everyone kind of held their own. I thought all of the characters were written not bad. I thought they were, all had their kind of distinct quirks. Yeah, I was okay with the acting in this one.
If anything, the dialogue was kind of weak.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but then again, it's a slasher movie, so we can, I think, afford to cut it a little bit of slack. Nobody goes into a slasher movie for the dialogue.
That's
or
right.
if they do go into it for the dialogue, like us, we're hoping for cheesy one-liners,
Yeah.
I did really like the intro of this one. I just love the setup of the movie where the killer has killed this woman and put her in to one of the haunts, and nobody realizes. They just think it's part of the haunt.
For like 3 months or something, wasn't it? Something crazy.
Something like that until it started to smell. Yeah.
Smell and decay
the victim,
a little bit.
sorry.
Yeah. I really like that too. I thought it was a really cool opening.
It's a great premise that we've maybe seen a few times and maybe seen done better a few times before. We had mentioned a couple, Hell House, LLC, Haunt, Funhouse. There's a lot of great movies that take place around haunted attractions. And this one maybe had a lot to live up to, and it just it was okay.
I am hoping the franchise gets a second chance though, and someone just comes in, takes the bull by the horn, and just makes a really good movie out of it. It's possible. It's a decent concept.
Absolutely. Okay, we got to talk about the Candyman himself, Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Very, very small part.
Very small, short, but it was powerful. Just to hear him talk. He's got that.
Yeah,
voice.
I mean, he's got such a presence, right? And I mean, you can throw him in whatever goofy costume, whether it be a really cool coat or whether you just have him covered in bees or whether he's wearing a ridiculous top hat.
I was about to say he's wearing a top
He's always
hat.
going to look cool. He's always going to look cool.
And sound even cooler.
Yeah, 100%. He's got a great voice. He sounds like Venom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, I thought it was a fun enough movie. I just wish they would have maybe given us a bit more with the killer. Again, I felt like the killer was maybe a little bit one-dimensional.
Yeah, I agree. And just the kill. I agree. Enough
But
said.
you made a good point right off the bat. If nothing else, it made you really want to go to a haunt.
Did it ever?
Yeah.
Did it ever?
I don't have a whole lot more to say for likes and dislikes. Anything left unsaid on your end, Blairski?
No, we've covered everything, man.
Okay, let's move right along to our next segment of the show, which is lessons we learned from watching 2018's Hellfest.
Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here.
The segment of the show where we talk about the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said movie. Blairski,
Yeah,
did
buddy.
you learn a single thing from watching Hellfest?
Well, when touring through a haunt, especially one where your friends randomly start to go missing, it's important to stick together.
Yeah.
Do not split up for any reason. Do not go off on your own for a walk or whatever you have to do. Stay as a group at all times. And on that same note, when you go to haunts, don't touch the props.
Don't do it.
No, be respectful, people.
Put your hands in your pockets.
Just keep going.
I mean, that's a great idea, stick as a group. But I remember last year in a particular haunt, right off the bat, we were separated, and a costumed haunter pointed us in different directions.
Yeah, I was
and we
about to say
panicked.
we were forced, though. We were forced to.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness. I think if you find yourself alone in a haunted attraction, you've clearly made a wrong turn.
Yes, you have.
I have never been to a haunted attraction where I haven't been surrounded by a million people.
Yeah.
If you're ever by yourself, you're clearly in like an employees only section of the haunt.
You're backstage somewhere for sure.
Oh, goodness. This is a good actual lesson for people going to haunts that I honestly believe is true. The more scared you seem, the more they'll come after you.
Yeah, it's very true too.
To me, through experience, this is very, very true. My theory of haunted attraction is if you don't want to be scared, go first. It seems crazy. It seems a little bit ridiculous. It seems silly. If you don't want to be scared, go first.
They always seem to come out in the middle of the pack,
Yeah.
or sometimes at the very end. But it's usually in the middle of the pack for sure.
In the middle of the pack. Trust me, I'm not trying to fool you. Go first if you don't want to be scared.
Yeah.
But who doesn't want to be scared?
That's the whole reason why we go to these things.
That's
man.
right. I also learned nobody cares if you have a VIP pass. Don't flaunt it. Don't rub it in. Nobody cares if you have a VIP pass.
Well, except for the person with the VIP pass.
Except for the person with the VIP pass, which at the end of the day, you're still going to end up standing in a line.
Yeah, you are.
It's just going to be a different line.
Yeah, because
Oh,
everyone
goodness.
goes for that VIP pass. So it just becomes another long line.
And it's always the same entrance. So you're
Yeah.
going to get to the same spot eventually.
Hey, I forgot to mention another thing I did learn. Soft pretzels are freaking amazing.
Yes.
Especially with mustard lathered on.
Yep.
Or sometimes you get them and they're stuffed with cream cheese.
Ooh, or even just like a little queso cheese dipping sauce.
Oh, buddy, now I need to get me a soft pretzel.
I mean, you got to have it with something. You got to dip it in something.
Oh, soft pretzel.
We'll get you a soft pretzel. Don't
right.
you worry.
All right.
Okay, we have now reached one of our other favorite segments, Line of the Night.
Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the movie. They might give us the chills. They might give us the giggles. All we know is that they are our favorites. Blairski, what do you got for Line of the Night?
Well, as I was kind of saying earlier, the dialogue in this movie isn't that good. So I don't have many. I got a couple. The character Taylor says that guy smelled like a homeless asshole.
Yeah.
Natalie says, "Why are we signing a waiver?" To which Taylor replies, "Because liability is a bitch." Very true words.
Safety first.
Yeah. The final line of the night I have is said by a security guard who says, "You came here to be scared, right? I can't arrest people for doing their job."
Yeah, that's
Welcome
another
to
thing.
Hellfest.
That's another thing that I forgot to mention in likes and dislikes, or even in lessons learned. The security guards in this place don't do diddly.
No, they're just there for a paycheck, man.
Awful. They are terrible. Do your job, man. Do your job.
They
I mean,
don't
you got the
care.
cool jacket. Like, come on. Don't just wave your flashlight. Do your job.
Man, they're just there to pick up girls. That's it.
Bunch
Pick
of
up girls and
weirdos.
collect a paycheck.
Bunch of weirdos. I got a couple line of the nights. First one, I have a very specific phobia of demon clowns.
Yeah.
That was said by Gavin. I thought that was a good line. And then my final line of the night from Taylor says, "I've already done laps around the 7 deadly sins."
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a good line
It
too.
is too. Yeah.
Okay, this leads us to our final segment of the show. Some might even go as far as saying one of our favorites.
It's one of them.
Celebrity lookalike time. Celebrity lookalike time. The time of the show where we take a look at the cast and discuss their celebrity doppelgangers. Spoiler alert, it usually comes down to the character's hairstyle. Blairski,
Yeah, buddy.
what do you got for celebrity lookalike time?
Only one for this movie, man. And that goes to the character of Taylor. Due to her hairstyle, she reminded me of pop superstar Pink.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
thought
one.
so. I
Kind of
thought
got the mohawk, spiky hair thing going
And I
on.
think she's even got a little bit of pink in her hair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got a couple here. The character Natalie reminded me of Abigail Breslin,
Okay.
star of Zombieland and Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay.
And then Tony Todd with his top hat looked like Dickens' character and Christmas hater Ebenezer Scrooge.
I was kind of thinking Baron Samedi as well.
Baron Samedi, sure, that works. Does Baron Samedi also hate Christmas?
I'm not too sure, but he wears a top hat.
Bah humbug. Okay, this leads us to our final rating for 2018's Hellfest. Blairski, out of 5 rusty guillotine blades, what are you giving Hellfest?
A lot of potential for this movie, but it
Yeah.
kind of fell short. I'm giving it 2 rusty guillotine blades out of 5.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to give it 2 rusty guillotine blades out of 5. It was fine. It had so much potential,
Yeah.
and it just didn't quite reach it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen worse movies. It wasn't horrible, just, nothing spectacular.
That being said, if they were to do a sequel, I would probably watch it.
I would too. Yep.
I want to know more about The Other.
I do too. And that's a pretty cool name. The Other. I like
Cool
it.
name, cool
Yeah.
mask. Yeah. One down, a plethora more to go.
Yeah.
We have reached it. It is October. Man, oh man, we are fully booked with our haunts this year.
Yeah. We got all our tickets, man. We're ready to go.
Terrifier 3 comes out this weekend
Yes, it does.
on what day is that? The 11th?
The 11th.
The
Yeah, it
11th.
comes out on the 11th.
So I'm sure we'll be doing a bonus episode on that.
We will be.
But until we see you again, this has been Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Reviews That Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/Reviews That Scare. That's linktr.ee/Reviews That Scare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsthatscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich. A proud member of Pod Nation TV.